After the 60s, the design capital moved from Copenhagen to Milan. The grandmasters created a legacy that today has some of the most important designers in the world. There is no region such as Brianza anywhere in the world. The quality of craftsmanship that is available in Brianza is second to none. Although we talk about Italian design, it's really more about global design that is produced in Brianza, because many of these factories use international designers. The international designers come to Italy to work for these factories because they can only realize their dreams because of the quality as well as the demands that their designs produce, and only these people in Brianza are able to understand and then create it. This phenomena has grown into a larger industry because the same designers have started to design in other industries, creating an enormous opportunity that is blurring the lines of design for furniture, or it could be industrial design. And this, to me, is a unique strength that exists nowhere else, and only in Italy. The Italians love life, and this love of life is the backbone of the Italian creativity. The emerging values are a good indicator of a new phenomena. I do not like the word luxury, but it is clear that the consumer does not care for it in the way they did before. Today they are all about being more rather than having more. They seek authentic, personal, and are curatorial. They are passionate about their purchases, seeking emotional relevance. This results in a dialogue that is quite engaging, and it is done with the interest of the consumer. And if it is done with the interest of the consumer, good returns are achieved. They are very thorough in their quest to live better and healthier. Some of the Italian furniture industries have not really caught on this. Some of them are still hoping for the good times to come back. We have had 2.5 years of this very, very difficult economic times. So we have better tools to plan strategically rather than reacting to what other players have done. That is just to survive. The customers have different perception of value, and so we in turn have to find ways to increase the value proposition and play the differentiation model very well. The first quarter of 2011 has been very encouraging with growth in double digits. However, this upside will be seriously damaged by the increasing price of the euro. Furthermore, the effect of the geopolitical situations and the natural disaster in Japan, the trouble in the Middle East, will have serious impact on business. And therefore it is very, very difficult for me to predict because there are too many variables. The real estate market in Florida is still not recovered. The unemployment in Florida is still 14%. But we look at it with a very, very clear mind, because it's extremely important that we look at these times as opportunities rather than as problems. This is a question that is very close to my heart. One of the biggest differences between Luminaire and another furniture importer is that the furniture importer comes to the fair to look at products that are offered, and then they decide whether to buy it or not. For the last 37 years that I have been in business, my first love is to understand the designers that design for this particular factory. Some of them are very, very good, very dear friends of mine. They come from all over the world. Secondly, I go to the factories to understand how these factories think. And in many ways, I have been an ardent proponent of them adopting design as an innovation factor rather than design as a wrapping. This is very difficult for them to understand because design in this country, in Italy, has never been given the importance that it deserves in terms of driving innovation. It has always been talked about as a decorative effect. This has to substantially change. They have to understand that for them to be a global player, they have to understand that they need they need to be design-driven rather than design-oriented. And this design-driven attitude can only come when they adopt design in every aspect of their business. They also do not understand that they are as good as the dealers that they have. And to make these dealers better at their job, they need to invest in communication, training, and so on and so forth. For instance, they believe that one should have a website, but a website is simply a billboard. If the website is not interactive, if it does not contain tools to improve the value proposition, then they are just existing rather than being innovative. And where does this innovation come from? Well, it can come from, if they are members of Alta Gamma, it's very easy to see how some of the members of Alta Gamma have adopted this technology as a key driving force in analyzing the consumer behavior and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, there does not exist a larger organization such as Alta Gamma is, but for the smaller players, And I'm afraid that their competitive advantage is being eroded every year. And I think also the second generation or the third generation of these family businesses will not exist because the mentality of how to create new synergies by collaborating with your competitors rather than looking at your competitors as a competitor, thinking of it as a collaboration, seeking strengths from your competitor so that you augment your business rather than spend time fighting the competitor. This is a very, very strange thinking process, but if somebody does not adopt that quickly, it could mean that we will not have some of the small players anymore.